I know, Lane, we talked about the how, like, how we wanted to go about this, and I think there's really like two camps of people, right? When we think about like what,
Yeah.
because like just to kind of set the stage, there's like two different types of camps, I would think, from a relationship tendency perspective.
Mhm.
So we just outlined one of them. One of them are the folks who you just have somehow continued to land the subpar performers.
Mhm.
Right, like you are selecting folks who just continue to show up to be nowhere near what you need and want. But there's another camp of people, and some of these I think don't even know that they're in this camp. I mean, I think everyone who's in camp A is like, yeah, it's the people, they're the problem, there's so many of them. But camp B are the people who have had actually several good partners, like people who are good people, but they've sabotaged that relationship because they didn't know how to receive love,
Mhm.
whether they realize that's why or not. Now, again, this is why this one's hard, because some folks that are in camp B, where you actually did attract someone that was a good person, you think you're in camp A because you're not able to actually accurately assess
Mhm.
who they are, because when you're in the sabotage space, like you process a problem as if it's someone else's, but it's actually yours. You're creating it. It's
Right.
within you, right? So that second camp is interesting because you don't necessarily know you're in that. Some people do. Some people are able to say, like, man, I know I've had some good ones and I've totally just, jacked it up. I can think of
Yeah.
men and women that I've coached in the past who are like, know that, but there are others who don't know. So if you're one of
Yeah.
those people who think for sure you're in club A, the club A, which is like, yeah, there's just trash people everywhere and somehow they come find me. I would just challenge you to consider, do you potentially belong to the second group, right? And
Mhm.
that is that you've probably, maybe you've encountered people that were a better pick than you thought, but you were actually the one who sabotaged. So
Yeah. Yep.
so, I guess we can jump into it, Lane.
Yeah.
Start with like what is like, and we're not gonna go deep on this, but I got excited just because again, in my growing over the years, and I wasn't pursuing learning about relationships when I learned a different
Mhm.
way to think about love. I actually was on my healing journey and really in a spirit space when I
Mhm.
realized that like our concepts of love are, for most of us, a little bit off, right? And so
Mhm.
we got this euphoria thing that especially women are like, oh my God, we went on a first date. And I don't know, it was just something about him, Lane. He was just this and he was that. And then there's
Yeah.
that lust that's in there. I know you mentioned lust when we were prepping. And then people are like, I'm falling in love. And I feel
Yeah.
like most of what we're calling love is euphoria/lust. And I know you had some thoughts on that, Lane.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there really is like a period of falling. Like I remember when we were prepping for this, you said falling in love is a lie or something.
Mm.
Um,
You're like, don't be ruining my fantasies. But tell me,
I
Lane,
mean,
how is it true to you?
well, it's not like a fantasy for me. I think that it is something that I've experienced.